Night, featuring Steve Dresser.
So, I'm not a peacock, like they told me I should change up how I was going to start this, but I want you to close your eyes for a second, and I want you to think of what is scarier. Something moving at over 3,000 feet per second, something moving at over 2,800 feet per second, or something moving at only 176 feet per second. You can open them, doesn't matter. The scariest one for me was something moving at 176 feet per second. That's 120 miles per hour. If you've ever skydived, you know terminal velocity is 120 miles per hour. First time I ever went skydiving, I was actually pushed out of the plane. Sitting there in boot camp, didn't want to do it. Kind of like this, didn't really want to do it. Thanks, Josh. Thanks, Hozak. Should have seen Hozak's face when he came back to the office one day, and he's like, "Ha ha! Guess what I just signed you up for?" So yeah, thanks, guys. But the first time I did it, I was scared. Military, never done it before. I was raised a military brat, been all over the world, and that was okay. But doing it myself was different, right? Didn't want to. I knew what I wanted to do or what I didn't want to be growing up. I didn't want to be like my parents. I didn't want to be like other employers that employed me. I didn't want to be like a lot of things. And so I joined the military like any rebellious kid and said, fuck you, I'm leaving California and I'm going to do what I want. And so I did. Standing there with the door open, hooked up, praying to God that when I get kicked out of this plane, the chute's going to open and I'm not going to die. I'm here, so we know it opened, right? So, but the thing is it took one step of faith, one step in front of the other, kind of like me pacing back and forth because I don't want to be up here. But one step is all you need, right? One step off the stage when I'm done, like, yeah. So I'm like, all right. But it came down to it. When I was in the military, it was, you're told to do something. It's kind of like Southwind. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. That's their kind of motto. It's kind of like when we first got here. It's like the hurry up and wait of the Army. Like we were waiting there at boot camp at the reception. Everybody's just lined up. And they didn't open the doors yet. I'm like, man, brings back memories. But I was asked, dedication to service. What do I want to talk about? And then I thought to myself, I was like, all right, I'm going to talk about what I didn't want to be and why I want to do what I'm doing. So I didn't want to be a terrible boss. A couple of you, actually, I think only one of them's here that worked with me for a terrible boss. Jocelyn, where you at? I know you're out there. But I did that for 20 years. And I just sat complacent with what I was doing. I said, all right, this is going to be fine. I don't care. I've been yelled at before. I'm used to it. I've been shot at before. I'm used to it. I can handle anything that's thrown in front of me, including an asshole to work for. So I did. And what most people don't know is I had actually given my 2 weeks before Josh came in and said, hey, we're your new owners. And I'd given my 2 weeks 3 days before that because I had told him that I was tired of it and I was leaving. And when I see Josh, Tyler, Hozak just standing there, and I'm like, okay, this is kind of too good to be true. You guys are all happy, and you're like, yeah, this is going to be fun, right? And I'm thinking, when's the hammer going to drop? When's the other side of this going to happen? And it hasn't, because we're a family. We will conquer things together. It's like a team. We will do everything that we need to get the job done, which is the best part about it, right? You want to be in the trench with somebody that you can trust. You want to be there to know that they've got your back no matter what. And we've got that. Now, I've been all over the world, not as probably more places than you moved me right now, but I think they're going to eventually get there. I've touched pretty much every continent. I've done a lot of things, and the scariest thing that I've done so far is literally stand on this stage. Because I don't like talking about what I've done or where I've been. I like to just solve the problem. I like to be the guy that just jumps in and solves it because my parents didn't, because the previous bosses didn't. And I was doing it for a while. I think everything was going well up until last year at this time. And I had only been with MVP for, I think, 3 months at that time when some news came out of the blue that got me. They said, hey, Steve, you've been diagnosed with testicular cancer. I said, all right, that's cool. A couple months later, they said, hey, it's metastasized. Now it's all throughout your body. I said, okay. And so I had to deal with it. And I remember one day I had already gone through some chemo, freaking out I was going to lose my mohawk. And that's like, I don't care about anything else, right? I'll lose an arm. Don't take away my hair. But I'm sitting there, and I was in a really bad place. And I sat in Hozak's office, and I pretty much told him, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done. And not that I was quitting MVP, but I was just done with life. I'm like, it's over. It's like, I've got kids, that's fine. I've got a good life insurance policy. They'll be fine. But then Hozak said something to me that kind of changed my whole aspect on it. And he said, hey, I'd miss you. And I'm like, dude, you've known me for like 6 months. How are you going to miss me, right? And I had to think about it because I'm not a real emotional guy. I think I've cried maybe 4 or 5 times in my life. And not at movies, just at certain situations. And I actually went home and cried because I was ready to throw it all away until he reminded me that I matter. That all I have to do is put one foot in front of the other, like I had already told people. It's just one foot in front of the other. Keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. So I kind of changed my mindset. I said, fine, I'll finish out these drugs, see what's going on. I'll do blood work, whatever else you need to, that's fine. As of last month, my blood work came back clean, which was pretty cool within one year. So, but I hate needles, so I hate getting blood work. That's, you know. And the wife was a nurse, so she wanted to practice on me. I was like, no, that's not happening. But it brought a sense of surrealism to me because I was like, all right, I was in this place. I was down on my lowest. I had a hand reach over and tell me that I mattered, and now I'm here. And so now I'm like, screw it. Nothing's going to stop me. I'm going to look at this like I've got an HVT that I'm ready to take out. My team and I are behind, and we're going to go take out this target, and we're going to succeed in our mission. And so that's kind of the way I look at it now. One foot in front of the other, succeed in what we have to do. So those of you who are kind of wondering what the first two were, because it's probably still in the back of your head, 3,000 feet per second, it's actually 3,124 feet per second, is the muzzle velocity of an M16 round. Scatters. Even if you have good control, it's going to scatter on fully auto. It's hard to control. 2,800, it's a little bit over that. 2,800 feet per second is the muzzle velocity of a 50 cal. 50 cal is one of the most feared weapons shot by the military because the sniper just sits back and you never see him. That's the one that you want to be. You don't want to be that 3,000 that will go everywhere. You want to be the one that's got a direct point, the one that shoots and goes directly for the target without wavering. Even though it's a little bit slower, it's like putting one foot in front of the other to where you can continue and continue and continue. Because we are a family, and in order to proceed as a family, we all have to be aligned and moving together, right? So I kind of want to end this with my favorite, and this is age, because some of you probably don't even know this movie, but my favorite movie of Bill Murray of all time is What About Bob? And it's just because it's such dry and stupid humor that I love it. But he sits there at the end, and he's just walking saying, baby steps, baby steps, baby steps. And to me, that's what all life is about. Baby steps, one foot in front of the other, and as long as we do that, we can accomplish anything. Thank you.